The silent World War II trap that outsmarted invaders, and still works today. There's a strange kind of hush in the story you're about to hear. Not the cinematic silence of a battlefield after the smoke clears, but the quiet, cunning kind. The kind that makes you lean in because someone, somewhere, figured out a way to stop an invading force without firing a shot. A trap so subtle that many soldiers never realized they'd stepped into it until it was too late. And the wild part? This old-school trick from World War II still works today, still used in military training, survival courses, and even by modern security teams who understand that sometimes silence carries more power than noise. Let's take a walk into the shadows of history, where simple tools built an invisible wall. During World War II, armies relied heavily on speed. Armoured columns, infantry squads and supply lines needed momentum like a shark needs movement. Slow down an army and you choke its power. And while huge obstacles like tank traps and minefields did the job, they were loud, obvious and costly. So defenders created something quieter, cheaper, and sneakier. A silent trap made not from explosives or steel, but really from the environment itself. It started with soldiers noticing a pattern. Invaders marching through unfamiliar ground often trusted their boots more than their eyes, especially at night. Especially in forests, frozen plains, or farmland, where, everything looked the same after hours of movement. And that's where the trap lived, beneath fallen leaves, soft sand, loose snow, or shallow mud. A camouflaged void, a man-sized pocket deliberately carved into the earth, a place that looked solid but wasn't. Some nations had different names for them, but soldiers simply called them deadfalls, a harmless-sounding word for something that broke legs, twisted ankles, tore ligaments and halted platoons. They were built fast, reset fast, and blended with the natural world so perfectly they felt like nature's own betrayal. What made deadfall so effective wasn't the injury itself. It was the chain reaction. One fall stopped the person. The person stopped the squad. The squad slowed the column. And slowing the column strangled the invasion. Commanders hated deadfalls because, they couldn't be predicted. There were no metallic clicks, no wires to trace, no shapes to memorize. Just perfectly normal terrain, hiding small pockets of disaster. Sometimes defenders placed sharpened branches or stakes inside the hole, but even without those dangerous additions, the trap was, honestly, brutally efficient. Break one soldier's leg, and suddenly you need medics, stretchers, cover troops, and time. Lots of time. Meanwhile, defenders repositioned, regrouped, or vanished into the trees like they were made of smoke. This wasn't just warfare, it was chess with the environment. The brilliance of the trap came from its simplicity. A soldier with a shovel could craft one in just a few minutes. Fresh snow, loose soil, soft forest ground, riverbanks and swamp edges were just perfect. You'd dig a narrow pit just deep enough for a soldier's leg, cover it lightly, blend it back into nature, and then disappear. A small hole became a strategic ripple that stretched across miles. Hundreds of these were scattered along key trails, forest choke points and river crossings. Even when an invader spotted one, they couldn't be sure where the next one hid. Each step became a gamble. Each soldier moved with suspicion. Speed melted into hesitation. Fear did the rest. In World War II, hesitation was deadly. Modern soldiers train with advanced sensors, drones, and night optics. But, the human foot hasn't evolved. Stepping onto unstable ground still sends the same shockwave of panic through the body. The idea is timeless. By shaping the ground, you shape movement. By shaping movement, you shape control. Today's trainers don't use stake-filled pits, but, the concept remains identical. They teach how to detect unnatural patterns in soil, how to read snow layers, and how to sense disturbed vegetation. Because even in an age of lasers and satellites, the ground remains the oldest battlefield. And, the quietest. Here's something surprising. With all our technology, human instincts haven't improved. If anything, we rely on visual cues more than soldiers did in the 1940s. That makes us even more vulnerable to traps that don't look like traps. Many modern survival experts teach this technique as a defensive strategy because it requires no tools, no batteries, and, no noise. It's part of the minimal signature approach, creating impact without giving away your location. Some call it soft blocking. Others call it ground shaping. Whatever the name, it's the same World War II ghost reaching into the present. It's also used in wilderness safety. Rangers create soft deadfalls around dangerous zones to prevent animals or people from wandering into unstable terrain. Search teams sometimes use them to steer lost individuals toward safer paths. The same principle that stopped invaders can help protect hikers and explorers. A trap turned guide, a wartime trick turned modern tool. There's something strangely poetic about this humble trap. It reminds us that survival isn't always about the biggest weapon or the toughest armor. Sometimes the smartest move is understanding how people move, how fear works, and how the environment can become an ally. World War II was filled with machines loud enough to shake continents, but this little trap, silent, hidden, patient, played its role with almost no credit. And maybe that's why it fascinates people today. It's a reminder that intelligence can beat force, subtlety can beat speed, and preparation can beat chaos. It's the kind of story we love on Legacy of Survival. Stories where ordinary tools become extraordinary solutions. If you walk certain forests in Europe today, you'll find reminders of these pits. Some are filled in, softened by time. Others remain faint impressions, ghosts of warfare absorbed into the soil. Nature remembers even when people forget. Modern militaries keep the method quiet, not because it's classified, but because it still works a little too well. Troops train to spot them. Engineers learn to counter them. and survival instructors pass them down like a quiet rite of passage. The trap hasn't changed, the world around it has, but its genius remains untouched. Whether you're into military history, survival techniques, or just curious about the strange ways people adapted under pressure, this trap holds a simple lesson. Sometimes the smallest idea becomes the biggest advantage. The defenders of World War II understood something powerful. You don't need explosions to win ground. Sometimes all you need is a hole, some dirt, good timing, and a little silence. And maybe that silence is what makes this story so gripping. A hidden battle beneath the leaves, a quiet victory inside the soil. A small trap with a long shadow. If you enjoyed this journey into forgotten survival wisdom, make sure you subscribe to Legacy of Survival. And share this video with someone who loves smart history. There's more coming, more secrets, more skills, more lost knowledge, just waiting to be revived.